SOQQUADRO is a real-time party game, in which what's happening away from the table is as important as what's happening on it. Each player places their pawn on the 0 step of the score path on the board. Shuffle separately the 3 decks of cards, green, yellow and red, and place them face down on the table, where players can easily reach them. Each card shows 1 or 2 features, and players will have to find objects around the house that satisfy those features, such as color, a property, and/or a starting letter. Green cards are the easiest, they are worth 1 point. Yellow cards are worth 2 points. Red cards are worth 3 points. Before the start of the game, decide with the master of the house up on the exact playing area. The game goes on in real time. All players play simultaneously. At the start signal, each player draws a card from a deck of their choice. The player searches an object that satisfies the card's request. When he finds it, he places it on the table and moves his pawn on the score path. He can now draw another card. A player can decide at any moment to discard a card when he can't find an object that satisfies its request, but he will lose 1 point at the end of the game for each discarded card. There are challenge lines on the score path. When a player passes over a challenge line with his pawn, he must scream "challenge". All players must stop immediately and must return to the table. When everyone is ready, the player who called the challenge turns the hourglass and draws a card from the deck indicated by the challenge. Then everyone must search an object that satisfies the features required by the challenge card. The first player who takes the correct object back to the table wins the challenge and moves his pawn forward on the score path. At the end of the challenge, the game continues normally. The game ends when a pawn first reaches or crosses step number 16 on the score path. Players count the points on their satisfied cards. The player with the most points is the winner. In the relaxed game, you can always draw a card from a deck of your choice. If you are playing with little kids, you can use only the yellow and green decks. In the extreme side of the board, each step of the score path is colored. If a pawn is on a green box, that player can draw cards from a deck of their choice. If it is on a yellow box, that player can only draw yellow cards and red cards. If a pawn is on a red box, that player can only draw red cards. Have fun, play with friends, be quick and accurate, and don't make a mess. Discover the whole SOQQUADRO family with SOQQUADRO Outdoor and SOQQUADRO Visual.